I was out in Iowa City interviewing Caitlin Clark back at the end of October and kind of asked her what was going to go into her decision process. And one of the things she told me was that she was hoping to make the decision before senior.
Can you really blame Caitlin Clark for ruining the WNBA draft given everything she's been through? She was the league's golden girl, a celebrity who filled stadiums and made headlines just a year ago. However, today, she's had enough of the harsh, almost ridiculous actions of the authorities today. Because you've personally witnessed the humiliation that comes with trying to survive in this league, you would also be upset about the uncalled fouls, the racial comments, and the underhanded cheating. She's also not keeping quiet.
She clearly knew what she wanted to do, and I love it because I've been through a senior day. It's a really emotional experience. It's a great time to kind of say thank you to the family.
Additionally, Clark's message is now crystal evident because ESPN stirred the fire with their own bullshit. This time, she is advocating not only for herself, but also for young females, those who have aspirations for the future, completely unaware of the difficult task that lies ahead in basketball.
So I think those were two of my biggest goals. And then obviously college basketball has come true, and then hopefully the WNBA here very shortly. But I think as a young girl, I was super competitive, and my parents always knew that, and I was always somebody that was driven by.
And let me tell you everything if you don't already know. The WNBA Draft Lottery is the event that we are discussing. The WNBA, which is essentially the highest level of women's basketball, attracts new talent from universities each year, as well as foreign leagues. But don't assume for a second that teams can just select anybody they want.
You also look at her assist numbers. She's 6th all-time in assists. This year, she's leading the nation in assists.
That would be far too simple. Oh no. Rather, we have this completely crazy lottery system. Consider a game of chance. But with extremely high stakes, where teams are battling to rescue their pitiful basketball teams from the depths of despair. For them, it's more than just a game. It's survival.
Caitlin Clark as the best offensive player that we have seen in the history of the women's college game. And then everything else that encompasses what she is doing in terms of growing the game. Things we've never seen on the women's college side, not only selling out all her home games, but on the road as well.
You might wonder why, because it completely changes your life to be selected in the top draft that if your group has been a whole catastrophe, winning just enough games to keep supporters slightly awake. You really need that first pick. We're discussing the kind of selection that might give you the next Caitlin Clark, a player who does more than just play. However, it illuminates the whole scoreboard and pulls your team out of obscurity. For these faltering franchises, it's similar like discovering a diamond after years of rock excavation. It's optimism. It's an opportunity for atonement. It's the only thing preventing their fan base from leaving, let's face it.
We haven't quite seen a phenomenon in terms of the attention that Caitlin Clark is getting in the women's college game.
Now, how does this bizarre lottery system function? It's kind of insane, so buckle up. There are 4 teams competing for the first choice, but it goes beyond how terrible they were the previous season. And oh, you have to be awful all the time to have a good chance during the previous 2 seasons. The Sparks of Los Angeles? Yes, they have had a few seasons. They have the best chances because it would make any ardent fan cry into their nachos. Don't celebrate just yet, though. The odds are just that. Odds.no assurances. A lottery machine, 14 numbered balls, and a ton of perspiring execs. Basically, it's fate, but turn it into a sport.
It wasn't something I ever really thought about too much. Like, I was aware of it just because of like the media and like that's what people would talk about a lot, but it was never something like, oh my gosh, like I need to do this or I need to break this. It's kind of just something that has come with.
The tension is unbelievable because every team executive is clutching those balls when they start bouncing about. Their breath, offering prayers to any greater power that may arise as a result of their combination. Only the top 2 selections are determined. In this manner, it's then back to team records and whatever luck is left if you are not in the top 2. I wish you well in the upcoming year because in this league, hope is a brittle thing.
Dude, look at the WNBA. They have been playing in front of 300 to 400 people a night for a quarter of a century.
But it's not merely a matter of luck. It's about aspirations, a strong desire for change, and groups holding on to the hope that of a miraculous performer who had the power to change everything. Take a peek at Caitlin Clark. She entered and flipped the Indiana. The whole script for Fever. Every failing squad is currently holding out hope that they can discover their own rescuer. But let's face it, Clark and other talented people don't appear in every draft. Even when the lottery gods are grinning, there's no assurance that the choice will change your life. It's worth everything, that little shining hope.
For somebody that don't watch WNBA basketball, to have women dunking on other women would definitely bring more excitement to that game.
Therefore, don't assume that the WNBA Draft lottery is only about bringing in new players. It's a do-or-die situation that has the potential to completely transform these teams. Oh no, it's an emotional roller coaster. These franchises rely on it as a lifeline, a last-ditch effort to remain relevant, and occasionally as their only hope. The future is determined by a few numbered balls that rotate around.
We're only playing basketball to dunk? Like, I'm not sure.
Therefore, in regard to the 2025 WNBA Draft Lottery, every team executive is virtually oozing desperation. Let's put an end to the suffering. Let's start with the Los Angeles Sparks. Now, recall the time this group was a powerhouse, making headlines and winning a lot of titles. Yes, those days are long gone. Right now, the Sparks are in deep problem, having a record during the previous 2 years that is more repulsive than a game-ending turnover. 22 victories and a heartbreaking 55 defeats. They defeated a heartbreaking opponent 8 times this season alone. 32 defeats. Executives are kept up at night by this type of performance, most likely whispering, "What happened?" To us, into their cushions, their supporters are worn out, irritated, and over it. They are holding on to the hope that the lottery gods will show mercy and give them a chance to recreate what was once wonderful. The Dallas Wings come next. They're not exactly flying high, I assure you, with just 9 victories and a nasty. With 31 defeats in 2024, their 2-season record is a dismal 31-49. Here's the worst part, though. It's essentially a desperation tie because they have the same chances as the Chicago Sky. A taste of the playoffs was given to the Wings. But that spark in 2023, it quickly fizzled out. They're back in the trenches now, hoping for a draft miracle to set fire to their franchise, naturally in a positive way.
No.
I mean, because listen, y'all are doing the step backs, the pull backs. Y'all doing everything we're doing, but I don't see a lot of people going up with 2 hands. And, back
oh, it's coming. Opportunity is a...
So you don't think if we just drop it to 9, 10
nah,
and a half?
I'll guarantee.
Think,
Layla, she's in the dance, but my next child will be drop step dunking. I promise.
What about the Chicago Sky? They're not much better off, though. They also have a 22.7% likelihood of being between 31 and 49 over the past 2 years, obtaining the first selection. And let's face it, they also desperately need IT. And 2024, they made a disastrous 13 victories and 27 defeats. They did have a brief period of success in the 2023 playoffs, but since then, everything has fallen apart. And the admirers of Sky, they will assault the front office with picket placards after just one more poor season. It all depends on a few bouncing ping pong balls, and they need a player who can turn this sinking ship around.
So, the 2025 WNBA Draft obviously is headlined by Paige Bueckers. Paige Bueckers, one of the best players that there's been. Obviously, she kind of came out last year. But if she was in last year's draft, she would have been the number 2 to Caitlin Clark.
Not to be overlooked are the Washington Mystics. How likely are they to receive the number? Just one choice, a pitiful 10.4%. With 14 victories and 26 defeats at the end of the 2024 season, they are the underdog by lottery norms. Of the Q, wishing for a miracle. They were contenders for the playoffs just a year ago, but now, the world has collapsed. And it's not attractive. They do have a slight chance. But let's face it, they have a difficult battle ahead of them. And even they are aware of it.
Yep. The Mystics with a 10% chance. With number 1. LA with 2. We had Dallas at 3, Chicago at 4, and then obviously 5 through 12 are all the same. So,
Caitlin Clark is the elephant in the room. These teams undoubtedly get chills just by hearing her name. The Indiana Fever selected her as the top pick in 2024, and wow, did she deliver. Not only did Clark play, She altered the course of events. She pulled the Fever out of obscurity and made them a team that fans had to watch. She exudes a superstar aura and has the transformative presence that every franchise aspires to. But here's the real deal. Sorry, lottery teams, but she isn't available in the 2025 draft. The Fever has already struck gold, and now the league as a whole is left gazing at a blank space, expecting to find success with the upcoming group of talented people.
It means the Mystics can go for it. Like, the Washington Mystics getting Paige Bueckers means they can go out next year with a lineup of Paige at the 1. You've got Sykes and Atkins at the 2 and 3. Who, again, like, the three of those players together will all be, like, any of them can dribble the ball.
Here's the harsh truth, though. Certain players, like Caitlin Clark, don't play every year. The Sparks of Los Angeles, the Washington Mystics, Dallas Wings, and Chicago Sky are all crossing their fingers in hopes of signing someone who possibly have even half of Clark's influence. However, the chances are slim. Clark raised the bar to the point that it might as well be in orbit. Every failing franchise is now wondering if fate will be kind or if they'll just have to continue to grind in mediocrity. Because while there will undoubtedly be stars in the 2025 draft, are we really anticipating another Caitlin Clark? That's like hoping to win the lotto.